So, anyways, we're working like crazy to recalibrate, and I think that I was talking about this with my coaching staff that what is such a big challenge for us is it took us such a long time to calibrate in the first place because of all the new faces and just everything starting over again and now we're having to almost completely redo it again because we're not the same team, literally, not figuratively. We're not the same team we were a month ago. And there's going to be certain things we can't change. We're not going to get our starting center back. In fact, she had her surgery today, went well. Everything's great, but it's not going to help us this year. And losing Noelle last week was a big blow. She's an important player for us, Noelle Tome. She's our first perimeter player off the bench, plays a lot of minutes for us, and hopefully we will have her back by the end of this week. She's out with a concussion, and I don't know when we will get our backup point guard, who was at one time our starting point guard. Now our backup point guard, I don't know when we will get her back, if we will get her back. She's also dealing with concussion symptoms, and we just got Riley Snyder back, and Riley is a really important player to us. I mean, she's a really good player. So in the game, I started her she played a little bit last Wednesday, but not very much, and then started her for the first time again Saturday in our game against Utah State. Clearly not herself, but she hadn't really practiced for 2 weeks. And so I think once she just starts getting back in the swing of things, it'll be really, really nice to have her back. But so those are all the things we're trying to navigate, and I think that we have what's exciting about the end of the year, I mean, if you can call this exciting, is that the top 3 teams in the conference will be in our gym. And we get a chance to just, again, hopefully on our home court, take a run at one of the top teams and see if we can do it, starting with Fresno State tomorrow night. And then we have Boise coming in and we have Wyoming coming in. So I'm honestly looking forward to that because I still maintain that we have got to talk to our players about this is where we want to be. These are the people we're trying to catch. So, what's it going to take? And it's one thing when you have to play them on their home court, and it's another thing maybe when you get them in your gym.
With Cassidy, is there any developments outside of basketball in terms of extending her time?
It's interesting because there was just a long discussion about the possibilities of 9th semester and 10th semester opportunities. It is very much in its infancy. Will it be developed, or will the academy adopt programs related to a 9th or 10th semester in time for it to help Cassidy? I don't know. It's hard to say. The fact that she did not play her sophomore year, does give her another year of eligibility. But I think we just have to see how it all plays out with her recovery. Where she's at the end of this year, academically, everything. There's just a lot of variables that we have to consider before we just say, hey, is there any way she can play a 5th year?
But she hasn't. Is she still going to school right now?
Yes, she's still in school. But some of the initiatives that are being considered would not require them to leave school. So like I say, those are very much in their infancy. In fact, that's part of one of the things we just discussed at the coaches meeting, and there's a long ways to go on that ever happening. And if it does happen, it's going to be academically related or academy related, and not strictly an athletic thing. So that's why there's a lot of things we have to consider before we start down that road.
As you do have a new athletic director here, what other sorts of things are you looking for outside support to help women's basketball?
Well, I've always maintained that we have tremendous support, and I don't have any big complaints or feel like there are certain things that even the greatest athletic director in the world can't change. We're not going to be able to have international students. We're not going to be able to have you could have transfers in certain situations, but they essentially have to start their whole college career all over again. And so you really don't have transfers. You don't have fifth years. You don't have, red shirting at this point. So you just, there's nothing anybody can do about that. Those are just variables we have to deal with. And if you were to take the international students and the transfers off of the top three, or off of, say, New Mexico, Boise State, Colorado State, Wyoming, their teams would be seriously depleted. And so we just can't get ourselves wrapped up in that and try to figure out how to balance that out, because that's just not going to happen. We have to continue to just recruit the right kind of cadet athlete and have them here for the right reasons, and just coach them, have kids that'll work harder, that coach them as best we possibly can. We just have to do it in traditional ways. We're not going to be able to. But that's why it's hard to do anything quickly here, unlike other programs where you do have access to those tools to build your program. And you just have to do it with freshmen. You got to start from the beginning. You have to get them through their freshman year, and then you got to keep working with them, keep working with them, and then hopefully by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're hitting their stride, they're playing great, and if you just get to click at the right time, you can win the conference. And that's the way that's what we're after. That's what we're trying to build.
I mean, have you thought about it, what it would look like with Cassidy as a senior when you had, Snyder as
Kaylin Emmel as a senior and Emily Conroe as a senior? Sure. Yeah, we've thought about it. But we try not to dwell on it. We will just have to, like I say, just see where I think we really need to get through this year, sort of see how things shake out with that potential in that program and where Cassidy's at.
Now, you mentioned these top three teams coming into the gym. Are there any you think you match up particularly well with the roster you currently have?
We've really struggled with teams that have size. That is just we're just not that big, and UNLV was huge. We knew that would be a challenge, and sure enough, they came down the first three trips, threw it into the big girls, and so we tend to be a little happier when we're not. In fact, I think one of the things that makes Wyoming better this year than they were a year ago is that they're getting great play out of Bailey Cotton, their center, who's a senior, and she was not really a factor a year ago, and she really looks good. So now, hard to say. Fresno doesn't have a great deal of size, so maybe we have a chance to match up a little bit better with them tomorrow night. They're very skilled. And they have the player. I think Candace White's the best player in the conference. She was my vote for preseason player of the year. So they do have a great player in Candace White, and they have a lot of skilled athletic kids on the floor, but they're not huge. So we're feeling like, okay, maybe there's a chance. Maybe we'd be okay. But that's been our biggest thing. So if we can match up size-wise, maybe we got a shot.